Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today's a pretty exciting podcast slash review. It is of the Fantastic Four First Steps movie. So I just came out of watching it of day one the other day. So at the time of this release, maybe 3 days after. So we'll be spoiler talk as it is in the description. I will give you this warning now too, just to click away if you haven't watched it yet. Go out and check the movie, and then come back to this video and come check out my thoughts. So, I just came out of seeing it basically yesterday, so it is quite fresh. I haven't watched it a second time, so it is just my first viewing entirely. And I'll get straight to the point. My rating out of 5 on Letterboxd is, I think it's sitting at a 3 out of 5. It was a 2.5 when I first did it, but I thought maybe that's a bit too harsh, so I did a 3. So, don't come at me with heat. Obviously, this is my opinion. It could be a lot different to everyone else's opinion, and that's what I'm going to get into today, of the reasons why I personally thought it was an okay movie. It was good. I don't think it was fantastic. Sorry. I think, and I'm going to get into it. So I really enjoyed actually all the cast and crew of this movie. I really like Silver Surfer, Julia Garner's Silver Surfer. I like Galactus. I still think Pedro probably should have shaved his mo for it, just to make it more realistic for what Reed would typically look like in the comics, because it is sometimes hard to kind of separate him from Reed, because together it just looks like Joel, or it looks like the Mandalorian, or, you know what I mean? It's hard to like always see him as a new kind of character in this sense. The Things design was really good. Everyone's Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, they were all good. But I think coming into this movie, I was already a bit I wouldn't say on the fence, but I know people loving this time period it's set in. They love how it's a part of a different kind of world and everything. I do to an extent, but I don't like the retro futuristic kind of setting that it's in, and not because I don't think it's relevant to them. I know it's obviously very relevant from comics, and it does give the Fantastic Four that chance to shine in a retro futuristic kind of world. But I don't know what it is. I just can't connect with them. I couldn't really connect with them in this movie that much. Like, they definitely have a big emphasis on family, obviously, in this movie, and they do focus a lot on Reed and Sue as the main kind of members of the protagonists, I guess, of this film. And that's probably where it is a bit lower for me, because I've never really been that big of a Reed fan, particularly Sue, probably more than Reed. But my favorite Fantastic Four member has always been the Thing and Johnny Storm. So it's a bit like Human Torch. He had his moments in this film, but he didn't remind me of the comic version that I typically relate to with him, apart from the part at the end where he goes, obviously it's a spoiler, so I've already given you your warnings and everything, when he goes to sacrifice himself to push Galactus through. Now, that is something Johnny is notoriously, I'm not going to mention the comic runs and everything, but he does do it, and that's who he is. He's a bit of a hot shot and stuff, but he does make the play when it needs to be, and I really like that. And then, of course, it was just the Silver Surfer that did it, which was good because it built up that kind of subplot throughout the movie of Human Torch and Silver Surfer's kind of connection when he's been figuring out the language and everything, which I did enjoy. Another thing about the movie, I did feel like it was quite short, and the pacing at the start was very fast. Like, it skimmed over quite a lot. Then it slowed down a lot. Slowed down dramatically. I had a long scene with Reed and Sue, especially when they first found out that she was pregnant. And then it sped up again, and then it slowed again, and then the movie kind of just ended. So, I don't know. I know Matt Shakman, the director, he also did WandaVision, and this is my issue with WandaVision. I feel like he didn't let it marinate WandaVision's mystery about what is happening with this old kind of timey retro TV kind of setting that Wanda is in and everything, and they kind of got to the point straight away with, like, not got to the point straight away, but revealed that kind of mystery straight away, and that kind of lost that. My interest dropped immediately after that kind of, and then he did the classic CGI kind of battle at the end, and it definitely feels like a Matt Shakman type a movie, if you can understand what I mean by that. And that's why it's like WandaVision. It's kind of like it was good, but it wasn't great. And this is my theory about this. And I think the reason why people are giving it like 8s out of 10s and everything, and 8.5s out of 10s and everything, is because we haven't had a pretty good adaptation of the Fantastic Four in live action. So I think because it is objectively, in my opinion, the best Fantastic Four live adaptation, that they're giving it good reviews, but I don't think it is that good. I really don't, guys. Like, I'm always been more of a DC person, and I do love the Fantastic Four, but I also like the Fantastic Four in modern kind of period, and I also would like, I am going to enjoy them more when they're interacting with other characters. I think that's when they shine best, is when they're interacting like the Thing and the Hulk, Human Torch and just Spider-Man or something. You know what I mean? I feel like that's when they're better. And I also was anticipating a Council of Reed type scene within this movie. Didn't get that. And that could have been, once again, like similar to Multiverse of Madness, getting my hopes up for something that ended up not happening as good or didn't happen at all, which potentially could have been the reason why. But I was really expecting that to be the thing. And once again, it was a very predictable movie. It happened the way you would picture it. I didn't even watch all the trailers, and I still had an idea of what was going to happen. And the way that Galactus gets quote unquote defeated was it didn't feel as powerful as it probably was meaning to, in my opinion. Like, obviously Sue was the one to kind of get him on like the back foot in that sense. And I guess you're going to say that's a power. Like, Invisible Woman's strong, but in this kind of way that they did it is like, oh, she only did that now because she realized that her son was about to like get taken, kind of thing. So it was like mother's power, which is, I guess, is good. It's a good meaning and everything, but I don't know, like, it didn't hit for me. It didn't hit. And okay, this is very all over the place, this review. I'm sorry. It's just my thoughts are all over the shop about it and everything. But even with the score, I love Michael Giacchino's Fantastic Four theme, but you barely get it in like really impactful moments in this film. You get like it through glimpses, and you get like the pre-chorus, I guess, part of the score throughout a lot of this movie, but you don't get the Fantastic Four like in like big impactful moments. So I'm just like, well, you made this banging theme, and it's not even like it's not that used that well, in my opinion. So it's like, I feel like it was a very all over the shop kind of film. Like, the start showed the Fantastic Four defeating its old enemies from like the comics, Mole Man, that big dude from the ground, which CGI was a bit, but like, and they mention old foes and everything, but it kind of just gets brushed to the side. Like, yep, they've done that. They try to do like the Superman where they throw you into the middle of this kind of their established world and everything, but it does it too quick and brushes over a lot. It makes it hard for me to connect with them instantly, because like, they say that they've taken out all these people and stuff, but you don't actually see it. You just hear about it kind of, or just see a glimpse of it 2 seconds and then boom, cut to another thing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think the time, the period that it's set in, I think really, it doesn't feel as fleshed out, the world. It feels very contained in this one city. Like, they're like, oh, Earth's heroes. And like, are you Earth's protectors? When Silver Surfer comes down and they go, yes, we are. Like, I don't feel that for them. I don't feel like they are. And I think that's where I was really struggling to kind of connect with it a bit. And by all means, it's not a bad movie. And I'm not a hater for Marvel or MCU in that sense. I just think it's not as good as what everyone is saying it is. And that is my opinion. I'm happy to be proven wrong by you guys in the comments. I'm happy to be roasted if you wish. But I came out of it being a bit, not disappointed, but a bit like, oh, was that it? Kind of like, oh, I guess it was all right. Like, and I don't want to come in a Fantastic Four movie feeling like that. And I know Superman came out 2 weeks ago, and I've seen Superman twice, and I still objectively think it's the best comic book movie of the year. I think it has the best heart. It has the best message. It has the best, I think, cinematography. And people were saying that this was the best visually looking comic book movie of the year. And I'm just looking at it going, like, there's a scene with the Thing talking to the girl from the children's kind of school home thing on near Yancey Street, and he just looks superimposed in like a massive green screen. Like, I know he's a CGI character and they would have green screen, and I'm like, nah. I was just like, it doesn't look that good. I'm like, ooh. And like, sometimes Johnny on Fire just looked weird. I don't know, CGI wasn't that tight knit as I thought it would be. Like, people were making fun of Superman trailer like CGI, but this objectively had definitely like a weirder kind of CGI look to it. And that was something that I was kind of a bit off-put by, I guess, from the initial time of watching it. But all in all, I think it was a good film. I think they had elements of very strong parts. I think Galactus, the way they shot Galactus in terms of when they first went onto his ship and he was kind of in the shadows and then his eyes lit up and then you just saw how massive in scale he was. Voice acting was really good. He looked intimidating. It was the Galactus I like in terms of his size and the way they shot him. But once again, he didn't really do much in the film. Like, you saw him devour one planet kind of, and then they'll once again, you didn't see like the whole thing. You just saw it come out the thing, and that was it. I don't know. Like Silver Surfer was probably had the coolest moments in the movie, in my opinion, which I really liked. Her surfing on the lava, surfed on every surface you could possibly think of. But yeah, she was really good. I don't know. I just feel like there was something missing. I felt like they tried to go for the drama, family drama, heartfelt kind of movie, but it didn't really hit me in the heart. And like they tried to act like Sue died, and she did die, but Franklin Richards is OP, so I knew she wasn't gonna end up dying in the first movie they brought the Fantastic Four into the MCU. So it's like that kind of stuff is kind of just like your classic tropes of superhero films, which I was just like, I've seen this before. Why am I watching it again? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't hit as hard. And in my opinion, let's talk about the post-credit scene now. Obviously, we'll get to one of the biggest parts of the thing. I thought that had the most suspense and tension. And you see the mask in his hand, and you see the hood, and you see him talking to Franklin, and you're like, GG, Doom's here kind of thing. So it's like, that was the most hype and probably my favorite moment of the whole film. And that was a post-credit scene, which I knew was going to happen, but I still enjoyed seeing it. Like, and that's the thing I'm trying to say about it. It's a very weird feeling, this movie, when I came out of it. I could kind of like tell the vibe of the cinema I was in too, in terms of how people were feeling about it. There was a lot of people like, I guess, talking in a positive tone, but there was a lot of people like behind us who was like, that was, what I mean? And that was like me too. And I know the critics giving it like 80s. I don't know, people coming out of like the early screenings saying it's a good movie. MCU's back. I hate it when people say the MCU's back. It never disappeared. It just had bad projects. But I don't think it is something that is going to be cherished as one of the top MCU movies. And it's just that to me. Like it's a good film, good superhero film, good Fantastic Four film, but it's not fantastic and it's not great. So that's my thoughts about that. I definitely think they have the potential to be one of the best families and kind of characters going forward in the MCU. It's just, I want to see them in our current time period. I want to see updated suits, not ones that look like something that your grandma, like what I'm wearing now, like a knitted, like it doesn't give that kind of power. The action scenes didn't lack its intensity. It kind of fell flat a bit for me. There wasn't enough action, I don't think, at the same time. The runtime was pretty short. Like there was just a lot of things that I would have thought they could have done a bit better. And I don't know, it didn't hit as hard as what some people online are saying. And I might need to watch it again. But as of right now, it is a solid 3 out of 5, maybe. A solid like 6 to 7 out of 10, if you're going out of 10 for me, probably. Like, it was good. It just wasn't great. And I think I'm a bit disappointed with it. And I really liked the OG Fantastic Four movies, even though they were horribly written, not the best directed. I think the actors did fine for what they were in, but it felt like a comic book film, and it felt like Fantastic Four. The suits, the way that they were portrayed, you know what I mean? Like this one here just feels like a wannabe pretender. Like, I don't know, like it's really hard because all the actors are really good in their roles, but I don't know if it's the time period that they're set in or the story that they were put in. It just didn't hit that hard. And Galactus was cool and all. I know he's going to come back probably at some point. The way he was beaten was kind of just anticlimactic, and then it ended abruptly. And I don't know, man, I was expecting more, and I don't think I got more. And I think that's where it went a bit wrong for me. And I'm happy to hear your thoughts down below on how you liked the film or didn't like the film, or if you can check it out, or if you're not going to check it out at all. I'll be interested to hear, because especially when it's coming out in the time period of 2 weeks of Superman coming out, when I thought Superman was a very, very good superhero film, it's hard not to compare. And I think that's also another issue for me. And, but it'd be interesting. I'm very interested to hear the most people, because I haven't heard general audiences reviews or opinions that much. Some of my friends haven't seen it yet at the time of this recording. So I know I'm more of a DC fan in terms of its characters and stuff, and I know a lot of my friends are personally Fantastic Four and Marvel fans, so they're probably going to enjoy it a lot more than I have, and that's good. Everyone has their own right to that. But honestly, it didn't hit that hard, and I think I'm a bit disappointed coming out of it. But objectively, it's the best structured live action Fantastic Four adaptation. But I still think some of the cartoons, the comics, are still better than it, and I do like the vibes of the OG Rise of the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four early 2000s movies. And I think maybe it's just the time. Oh, by the way, to go back, Mole Man. I think Mole Man was great in this film. He is exactly how I envision Mole Man, Stingray from Cobra Kai. He didn't have his stuff, I don't think. Maybe in one of the early scenes, but that's what I'm saying. Like everything, like they showed a lot of stuff early on, but they just flashed beyond them. Like, oh, they saved the planet from this, and they saved, it's just like an ABC type of thing. Like, I don't know. I can't get around the old fashioned. Like, I know it's definitely creative and it's a stylistic choice, and I respect the decision to do it. And I do like how it's in a different world, but why did a different world have to be like old in that sense? Like, I know they have futuristic stuff and everything, but it just felt not that full. The world didn't feel that full, and you saw a lot from the trailers, and you kind of predicted how it was going to go. That's why I was hoping for like the Council of Reeds or something like to kind of put that spanner that we haven't seen before in the live action Fantastic Four. This feels like almost a rehash of what the first original 2000s film could have been with the plot and everything. Like, I don't know. It's just, they did a lot of interesting things, but it didn't really pay off in my opinion. And in the end, it kind of just became a mid Marvel movie for me. And mid is not bad. I hate when people say mid's bad. It's just an average film. And it's not bad to be average. You know what I mean? And, but I am really excited to see them in Doomsday, and I know that they're going to kill it in the MCU, and I'm very grateful for them to be in the MCU. I just thought this movie was going to be a big smash at the park for Marvel, and it didn't do it for me. It was a very just your generic kind of superhero type flick, which is fine, and I know they'll get changed and evolved over the time of being in the MCU and everything, which will be interesting to see how it connects in terms of the Thunderbolts post-credit. Would that be Doctor Doom running away with Franklin at the time of him taking him, possibly? Who knows? But yeah, it's a bit of a shorter podcast review, I guess, from me. I am very interested to see how you guys like the film down below. Give me your even ratings of it, like out of 10 or something, just to see what the general audience is kind of feeling and vibes around this. My co-host Cooper hasn't watched it at the time of this recording, so I'll be interested to see how he thinks of this film, and maybe he will give another 1 minute little cheeky YouTube short for while he's away on holiday still. And might be able to see his perspective of this film, if he agrees, if he disagrees, what's his general thoughts about it. But all in all, I still enjoyed my time going to watch it. It did, bring Fantastic Four back into the limelight, on the spotlight of the MCU films, which is good because I haven't been in it. It did a good job at not inventing, but reintroducing them. It just didn't hit as hard as I think the filmmakers and kind of Marvel probably wanted it to, for me in particular. But all in all, it was a pretty fun time. It was a good film. I just don't think it was that fantastic. But that's all from me, guys. Hope you guys subscribe, like, and share it with a mate. We appreciate all your support on our videos. Sorry the content hasn't been as consistent lately. Have been busy with, obviously, live stuff and Cooper not being here. But I will be trying to make at least maybe one more podcast at the time of this coming out after. But then we'll have to take a break for a month in August to September-ish. August, September, maybe to October, because have got some big life work commitments and everything coming up. So that'll be it after that for a bit. So it's a little bit of a break, but then we'll get back into the groove of everything, and Cooper should be back probably by then. So we'll get back into the groove of everything. But just for now, thank you for all your support. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys.